Hi, my name is Aleksandra Wojakiewicz. I'm a European patent attorney.
Hello, my name is Grzegorz Kaplita. I'm a software manager in Motorola.
And we are going to talk today about innovations at Motorola. But before we start to talk about innovations at Motorola, I would like you to think about innovations in general. Is innovation necessary? Probably all of you know the products that are on the market like for 30, 50 or even more years. Can you believe that Coco Chanel perfume is more than 100 years old? So it does not always work that we need something new. And even if product is new, even if design is new, we very often appreciate technology that is traditional. Like, for example, Murano glass. Murano is a very small island close to Venice and is known from glass manufacturers. They use technology that is known from 13th century. So, of course, design of the product changes, but technology doesn't change. And of course, it is possible to produce similar products in some factories, for example, in China. So be careful when you are in Venice and you want to buy Murano glass. But people still want to buy this traditional, original, made with this traditional technology. And when you see at the second picture, this long queue, believe me, it's not a queue to buy a new smartphone, new iPhone. It's a queue to Michałek Bakery, very famous in Krakow. And every year, every Fat Thursday, people stand in this queue. They have to wait for 2 hours or longer. And they are waiting not to buy like a donut 2.0. They are there to buy a donut exactly the same like 5 years ago, like 10 years ago. Believe me, been there, done that. We want to buy these traditional donuts. So we appreciate products that we know for years. But there are moments in our life when we want inventions, innovate something innovative. We want every technology that is possible. We at Motorola call them moments that matter. It's when our life is in danger. About 75% customers of Motorola Solutions are so-called public safety agencies. Police, fire departments, emergency medical. Those are the people that help us in the moments that matter. We provide them mission critical communication technology so they can communicate, so they have access to every information they need to help us. That's why innovations are crucial for Motorola. We have to innovate because we innovate to help people be their best in the moments that matter.
So innovation is built into the Motorola DNA, and it's one of the core values from the day the company was founded. Motorola was started as a Galvin manufacturing corporation in 1922 in Chicago by Galvin Brothers. The word Motorola was originally the brand name for Galvin Manufacturing Corporation carrier radio. It was one of the first commercially successful carrier radios. The product was so popular that the company decided to change the name to Motorola. In 1930, Motorola began selling Motorola car radio receivers to police departments to enable one-way wireless communication. But the innovation didn't stop there. Motorola was focused on making wireless communication more mobile and more accessible. In 1940, first handheld walkie-talkie in the world was introduced by Motorola, and in 1941, Motorola introduced mobile two-way radio containing both receiver and transmitter. The Motorola handheld AM radio was vital to Allied communication during Second World War. Although many of Motorola products have been radio-related, during its history, Motorola introduced innovation in many aspects of our lives by designing and producing also the communications equipment, TV, phones, cell phones, set-top boxes, microprocessors, and even more. In 1969, Neil Armstrong spoke the famous words, "One small step for a man, one giant leap for the mankind," from Moon on the Motorola transceiver. In fact, every Motorola mission used Motorola communication equipment and system from pre-launch, checkout, through lunar exploration and splashdown. During Apollo 11 mission, Motorola delivered equipment used to transmit telemetry, voice communication, biometrical data, and television signal between the Earth and Moon. As interesting fact, I can add that small Motorola radio in the Apollo command module, which provided the crew only communication with Earth, required only 35 watts to communicate. It is less power than used by traditional light bulb.
And inventors from Poland were always important for Motorola. Let's start with Henryk Magnuski, who was a Polish telecommunication engineer, who is often called a father of walkie-talkie. The father of this device that you see on your screens, the one that was shown 2 slides ago, that was so important during World War II. Magnuski was a co-author of about 30 patent applications. And now R&D center in Krakow, Poland is the biggest R&D center at Motorola in the world. And engineers from Krakow Center can be awarded with Magnuski Award.
The many years of innovation allow us to provide the technologies that connect those in need to those who can help, to find efficiencies, prevent crimes, and save life. How we do it? By introducing 3 keystones of the mission-critical ecosystem for both public safety organizations like law enforcement, fire and emergency medical services, and enterprise customers. The first one is critical communication, which keeps our customers safe and aware when it matters most from every routines to crisis unfolding. Second is Command Central software, which is end-to-end fully integrated software application suite, able to handle incidents from call to the case closure. And the third, video security and analytics. High-resolution mission-critical cameras that use artificial intelligence to focus on what's important versus what isn't. On top of that, Motorola also offer manage and support services, which is worldwide base of network operation monitoring technology, ensuring that every system performs at peak performance. Everything is current and secure against the cyber attacks. The Motorola mission is supported by integrated products and services which help public safety organizations in their everyday work. All of these components exchange data and work seamlessly all together. Motorola delivers critical communication like infrastructure, ruggedized device designed to withstand the hardest and the most extreme circumstances, able to fortify radio communication with unified broadband. Interestingly, the way of communication differs significantly in the network for public safety agencies compared to commercial mobile networks. First responders works mainly in the groups, so they are connected in the talk groups. It is enough to press PTT button on the radio to transmit voice to whole group that is assigned to the same incident. Private calls that are well known from the commercial networks are rather rare. Command Central is the set of applications that supports multiple roles during emergency incident, like call taker, that is responsible for answering calls from emergency numbers like 199, 112. In States, emergency number is 199, but it functions exactly the same as 112 in Poland. The next supported role is dispatcher. Dispatcher is responsible for dispatching first responders like police officer, firefighter, emergency medical services, and is responsible for coordination of emergency personnel with integrated 199 calls data, location, and radio communication incident scene. Next role that is supported by Command Central software is first responder. Command Central helps providing them needed information, automating everyday tasks, and enabling them to complete reports which are returning to the headquarters. And the next role is record specialist, who is supported by capturing and protecting data gathered during the incident, like 199 request, radio and event logs, sensor video, or other records, from call to case closure, helping to interpret gathered data and share them with prosecutor office when the case gets to court. And finally, when security and video security and access control. So this is the fixed camera camera mounted in the car, and the software that powers them, extract data and provide actionable information. During the incident, every millisecond matters. Every millisecond may mean saved lives. So we will innovate to make sure public safety responders will be able to adequately and effectively respond to the emergency situation when citizen needs help. Let's walk through the incident. In the first phase, so-called pre-incident, knowledge matters. We have to retrieve information quickly and accurately from citizen. When public safety answering point receives a request for service, either from 199 call or automated sensor, we have to help to get all information, assign them to the correct incident, remove duplicated data, extract only meaningful facts, and provide them to responding officers. During the incident management, so-called mini-incident, the second matter. So first responder are dispatched to the incident scene, and critical communication must assure collaboration between field personnel and command central staff in real time. It is all about getting first responder to the incident scene as quickly as possible with all the knowledge that they need in the moment that supports them during emergency situation. Post-incident, when facts matter. In that phase, reports are filed, digital evidence is tagged, information is shared with the judicial and correctional partners. We have to assure that all the multimedia data that were collected during the incident are stored, are indexed, correctly interpreted, and will be available when needed. When the case goes to court, we will have to assure that the records will be admitted by the judge. In many events, it takes several years between incident, like a fire, and the court case. So we have to be able to predict what data will be needed and securely store them to enable investigation.
So now let us show you some of our products. Let's start with the youngest part of our portfolio, video security and access control. So probably majority of you, when you hear about video security, you imagine fixed video camera and some guy with dozens of screens in front of him sitting somewhere watching those video streams. It's much more than that. Besides fixed video security cameras, we have body-worn cameras, in-car video systems, and analytics that runs them. Let's start with fixed video cameras. There's a lineup of our products, from dome cameras through fisheye cameras to PTZ cameras that can pan tilt zoom, so you can have 360-degree view. So you don't have to buy 5 or 6 camera to cover a certain area. And what's very important, that's it's not only camera, it's also analytics that's built within it. It's analytics that runs on camera. So filtering and searching is run on camera. So you don't have to send all this data to some server somewhere and process all the data there. You can do some analytics just on camera. And let's go to appearance search.
So nobody nowadays is able to watch all the video recorded by cameras. All cameras have to be supported by sophisticated software, enabling operator to find the moments that really matters. Appearance search is a deep learning search engine for video. It enables you to click on any person and any vehicle and find all instances of the person or vehicle across all cameras. It can quickly locate a specific person or vehicle of interest by entering physical description, including clothing, color, gender, or age categorization, like, for example, man in the black jacket, woman in the red dress, or by uploading a photo of person of interest. Operator can fast understand order of events registered on multiple video cameras and reveal a vehicle on individual route or last known location. Appearance search also understands the relation between the person and the car and can also track a person when he or she gets to the car and disappears from the camera view. In such scenario, the car in which the person is sitting is tracked. Thanks to the application, operator can, for example, find individuals that are missing, find who let the bag in the facility, or find a moment in the video stream when somebody removed an object of interest from the office, like a bag. It is enough to select the bag on the video, and appearance search will find the moment in the video stream when somebody moved that. Appearance search is not everything. The video intelligence suite contains many more revolutionary services. One of them is a service called Focus on Attention. It is a cutting-edge user interface for live video monitoring that leverages AI and video analytics technologies such as unusual activity detection to help increase operator effectiveness. By visually highlighting the unanticipated, it provides an overview of anomaly across all the cameras, so operator can verify the event and quickly determine the appropriate response. Red hexagon displayed on user interface marks the camera that detected some kind of anomaly. Service called unusual motion detection uses AI to learn typical activity in the scene. It is able to determine and flag unusual motion without any predefined rules or setup. Video solutions are also integrated with physical access control system designed to protect access to the facilities. But the best part is that we are still inventing. We still search for opportunities to deliver random information by combining the current service with the new video analytics, latest research in the field of machine learning. Each new release of software introduces new solutions and ideas that enable users to focus on the important part of video and extract actionable information.
Body-worn cameras. Those are used mostly by police to record their interaction with the public or gather video evidence at the crime scene. Not popular in Europe, especially in Poland yet, but more and more popular in the States. Those are cameras that are attached to the uniform of police officers, usually on a chest. So it can record when a police officer starts investigating. So we are showing here two of our offerings. First one is WatchGuard. What's interesting about this one, it has a swappable battery. It already has a 12 hours lifelong battery. So it's enough to cover the whole shift, but sometimes officers pull double shifts. So if at the end of their second shift, the battery is low, they can have a second battery recharged and can easily take out the worn one, put the fresh one, and power is back, so he can start recording. And very interesting feature, so-called record after the fact. So sometimes police officers forget to hit the record button, or has no time to do it because he has to draw his weapon. So it seems the accident is not recorded, but we have this functionality record after the fact, because actually it records constantly. So we can pull out the video that we need, even if the button wasn't hit. And the second one, EDA6, more popular among our commercial customers and in police department, for example, in UK. What's interesting about this one, it has live streaming to control center. So if you remember the previous slide, this red hexagon, that something happens. If you hit the live streaming button, it goes to control center and it sets an alarm. So someone sees that has to check what's happening there. And next one is vehicle camera. Again, not so popular in Europe yet, but more and more popular in the States. Two things that I want to mention about this product. One is human-centered design. So you have this touch interface, and you only need 3 touches to go anywhere you need in this system. Only 3 touches to enter every possibility. These vehicle cameras are mounted behind the windshield, so they record everything which is in front of the police car. So, for example, then they scan license plates as the police car drives down the street. And of course, it's not only about recording. There's a lot of patented analytics within this, but let me explain it on the next slide. Okay, in Poland, we have police in Krakow, police in Warsaw, but it is still the same organization, the same agency, Polish police, and a few more agencies that can investigate crimes. But in the US, situation is much, much more complicated. You can have Chicago police, but you also have sheriff in every country. So every county has own sheriff. Every city can have additionally a police station. And on the top of this, you have also these federal agencies, FBI, CIA, DEI, which is known, for example, from Breaking Bad, because it's about drugs. So a lot of agencies, actually thousands of them, that are separate organizations. So it's hard to communicate. If agency utilizes our product, our software, they can share the data and search for license plates. So, for example, if you are looking for a criminal, you know his license plate numbers, you can perform a search within this shared data. And you not only receive photos of images of this car, but also a map where this car was scanned. And let me say something about one of the products from the field of access control, concealed weapons detection. You all have probably experience, for example, at the airport when you have to go through these X-ray scans, and it takes ages. Queues are meters long because you have to take off everything from your pockets. You have to take everything from your bag. So you are going back and forth because you forgot about, for example, metal part of your belt. So yeah, it takes ages. With this device, you can just go through it. You don't have to, you can have everything you have with you. You don't have to put it away because this device is trained to detect weapon and knives. Because after all, we don't need to know if someone has an umbrella or a laptop that has a metal hinge inside. We are only interested in detecting weapons. So this is super fast. You can just go through it. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, concealed weapons detection evolve. So if you're interested, you can easily Google it.
So moving to the Command Central software, it is integrated suite of the cloud-based software services that can handle every emergency incident from 199 call to the case closure when, for example, a suspect is convicted and pulled to the jail. From left to right, we have application for every phase of incident, from incident awareness through the incident management till post-incident data collection. They support call takers with answering calls, dispatcher with dispatching first responders, operators with delivering situation awareness, public safety officer with collecting all records and videos from body-worn camera and helping creating reports. The first application is Command Central Call Handling. It is a cloud subscription emergency call handling service that is offered for PSAPs. It has intuitive user interface with built-in security processes. Motorola heavily invests in designing the user interfaces that are simple as possible. The call taker can simply answer the call and emergency text, track location of the person that is calling for help, prepare information about the incident for dispatcher and first responder. The application assures that every piece of information is entered only once and shared securely with other applications in Command Center suite. The call taker is able to view all 199 calls and resources that are handled by the PSAP in one single map. If more data is needed, call taker is able to send a stream request through the software. Person calling 199 will receive SMS message with special link that would allow him or her stream live video to call taker. The live video may be used by call taker to help until a responding officer arrives at scene, and it's later added to the record stored for the case. Interesting service is Smart Transcript. It is a cloud-based service that takes the voiced audio from either 199 call or non-emergency call and transcripts it to the searchable text transcript, letting call taker focus on emergency incident and enabling post-call analytics. The call taker is able to return easily to any information provided during the call without asking the same question. If additional person is added to the call, for example, in the case of large incident, he or she can quickly catch up by reading all information that was already provided. The converted information can be easily consumed by other modules in Command Central suite application. The next application, the next service is Command Central CAT, used by dispatcher to dispatch first responder to the incident scene. When 99 call comes in, dispatcher have to dispatch needed first responders and provide them all information gathered by call taker. Dispatcher assign available units like police officer, firefighters, emergency medical services located near incident scene and manage the incident in a single screen. If something unexpected happens and the incident escalates, the dispatcher is automatically alerted about the responder status and he may assign more units to the incident. This dispatcher can, for example, manage tag groups in the CAD user interface, then dynamically add additional radio to that tag groups, create priority transmission to the radios, view the PTT ID of the all officer taking part in that incident. Also, mobile version of the application also exists. So if two officers drive to incident scene, second one can use application to read all the data that was provided by the call taker. The next one is Command Central Aware. This is real-time situation intelligence that stitches everything together. So this application aggregates all information in the single place. The most popular part of the application is map. It's map view containing all the information that are transmitted to the system. It can integrate information from multiple sources, from Motorola services, but also from third-party services like social media streams. The maps is also equipped with sophisticated filters that allow operator to find the correct information that are needed to handle particular incidents. Operator of such application can have eyes on the scene in the seconds. Just by clicking the incident, he can select the appropriate cameras and appropriate sources of data to get more information about what is happening on the place of the incident. He can monitor activity from everywhere with the location-based data available on the single click. Additionally, responders, the operator can quickly respond to the escalating incident based on the data that are provided on the maps. On the maps, we are also adding the information from other systems like ShotSpotter. ShotSpotter is the system that detects the gunshots and is deployed in some cities, for example, Chicago. So based on the information recorded by the ShotSpotter, Command Central Aware is displaying possible location of some shootings. And this can be also addressed by the operator of Command Central Aware. And the next one, Command Central Records. Currently, the paper-based recording consumes enormous officer time. More or less 400,000 reports is written in a major city each year. Officer takes notes on the paper form, returns to the station to keystroke and stamp and submit. In some jurisdiction, reports must be filled or rejected within 48 to 72 hours, or subject will be released. In major cities, officers spend something like 30% of their time on administrative duties. So converting these admin hours to the officer, returning these admin hours to the officer translate to something like 1,000 hours in the field. This service, Command Central Records, simplifies information collection by reducing the burden of traditional reporting based on automation. So all the data that are currently provided to the Command Central services are aggregated inside of the Command Central records. It also streamlines investigation. The detectives inside of the public safety agency have a single view to all the information that they need to solve the case. All the data can be easily correlated to the appropriate CAD incident and when needed, share with the attorney office. Transcription automatically covers narrative to text. AI services can also link particular narratives with the data about the people that were involved in the incident, owned by the people being on the place of the incident. Next service, Command Central Evidence, is responsible for downloading and gathering all the videos from body-worn cameras. Currently, in the major city, more than 1 petabyte of data of body-worn video is generated annually. So such enormous number of data needs some support from automatic services. Evidence assures that digital evidence is automatically collected and tagged for evidence, for analysis. Video evidence is reviewed and auto-redacted with secure audit trails. In the States, we have regulation that is called Freedom of Information Act, which allows every citizen to request any piece of information that was registered by the public safety officers. It also includes videos registered by body-worn camera. But before releasing that video to the public safety agency has to remove every information that is not related to the incident, like faces of the bypassers. However, this reduction is very laborious. So services like Command Central Evidence are equipped with the special tools to make it automated. So evidence is able to redact the faces of the bypasser and product the videos that can be released safely to the public.
I already mentioned that 75% of our customers are public safety agencies, but let's talk about other 25 commercial customers, because the experience that we have, the technologies that we have, the products that we have for public safety agencies can sometimes be also used by other customers. And what we offer is the ecosystem of our products and services under umbrella Safety Reimagined. So imagine a safe school, safe hospital, safe stadium, safe university campus, where you can use, for example, our video analytics, body-worn cameras, or our radios to create a safe space. And to connect all these technologies and products, there's an workflow automation tool called Orchestrate. And if you know services like Zapier or if TTT, if this then that, those are apps that allows you to create a workflow. For example, if you receive, you can create a situation when every time you receive a email with an attachment, this file is automatically saved on your drive. So those are the apps that allows you to connect different apps that you use. So Orchestrate works in a similar way. It allows to connect all that services and products that we offer. So imagine, as I mentioned, safe university campus, and we have a suspended student. and we don't want him to come on campus. So we can create a workflow in which every time this student appears on campus can be recognized by our camera, or his license plates can be recognized by our system. And then, for example, there's a text notification sent to the nearest security officer, and he can go to this person and ask why he's here. It's suspended student, so he can be here just to return the books from a library, but he can be angry, and it's better to check.
Secure and resilient communication, unify voice and multimedia collaboration for critical events. Motorola offers mission-critical networks for both public safety and business-critical communication. These networks are secure, encrypted, provide network that protects sensitive information and agency data. Besides that, in our portfolio, we have a set of ruggedized devices that can survive fire in the building, drop from helicopter, or even run. They can still work after running over by 40-ton fire truck. On top of that, we are also offering Cirrus Cloud. It's managing software deployed in the cloud that is managing radio networks and accelerates features introduction and delivery to that networks. One of that private network is the Astro P22. It's one type of LMR system. Typically, it's deployed in the United States. In Europe, we have a similar standard called Tetra, and the Motorola product is called Dimetra. This kind of system are privately owned, mostly by governments or state agencies like city governments, public safety agency like police departments. What is characteristic for such network? They are highly serverable networks where multiple layers of redundancy is introduced. Lots of the fallback operation are provided just to make sure that the voice service will be provided. Sites are hardened, and there is lots of the security means that protect that network from cyber's attack. Additionally, the interesting part that the LMR networks support also off-network communication, peer-to-peer communication, so-called direct mode. So even if the first responders will leave coverage of the site, they still can communicate directly between the two devices. On this slide, we have examples of these ruggedized devices that are provided in different forms and factors from different use cases. The green ones are provided mainly for firefighters, so they have very small screen that shouldn't disturb them in dark rooms. Lots big buttons that can be pressed with the gloves that are worn by the firefighters. But besides that, we have also the devices that provide capability of installing the applications and supplying complex workflow. The devices on top are the portable ones that you can carry with you. On the bottom, we have examples of mobile devices that are mounted inside of the car. One of the latest series of devices is APA Next. The interesting part about that device is that it covers two technologies. It's able to communicate with LMR, so land mobile radio, these critical networks, but also with the LTE, the normal commercial networks. So we are able to provide critical communication with the two public safety responses, but still we are able to provide the data from commercial network to support some kind of application that are used by first responders. Besides that, this new generation radio deliver multiple services. They can operate between the different system and automatically switch between LTE and LMR depending on the coverage of both systems. Additionally, the new version of APX Next contains Wiki, our own voice assistant. Yet another service that is important for the critical communication is the Critical Connect. This is cloud-based interoperability service which make possible for agencies, so these public safety agencies, to dynamically connect with other agencies, as well as personnel that is outside of their coverage, like people that are using normal phones in LTE network. With the ability to set up connection in 2 clicks, the agencies are quickly able to adjust their interoperable communication when some kind of incident happens, like incident that is on the border of 2 states or border of 2 countries. The customers are able to link various systems with the various technologies like LMR with LTE and others, and create common talk groups to enable the cooperation between the different public safety first responders.
Okay, so let's see some numbers because now you are aware what kind of products we offer, but let's see how big is Motorola in terms of numbers. So over 100,000 customers around the world in over 100 countries. 59% 911 public safety answering points rely on our software. Answering points are those places where call takers work. So when you call 911, you are calling to public safety answering point. 40% of enforcement agencies use our video system, and 65 mission critical networks use our services. And let me show you one more number that is a measure of our innovativeness. Over 7,000 patents. We invest a lot to provide this innovation. So we want to protect this investment. We want to make sure that only we will be able to exploit those innovations. So we file a lot of patent applications. Every time there's a new product release, there's so-called patent scrap, during which we, patent attorneys, meet with team, and we are making sure that every feature that we want to be protected is covered by patent applications. But if you want to be really innovative company, you cannot only protect the real products. You cannot only protect what's on the roadmap. You have to think about technologies that will be possible to be implemented in 5, in 10 years. So we also filed so-called visionary patents that cover the inventions that are not implemented yet, that are not even on the roadmap. They are just new ideas that we have of technologies that may be possible to be implemented in future.
So where do we find inspiration for our patents? The answer is simple: everywhere, even everywhere. Even the game can be a source of inspiration for the innovators to introduce a new service of the new method for the public safety agency. So in this patent, we disclose a method to gather additional data for public safety agencies. Sometimes there is no possibility of getting information about the incident. There is no cameras on the incident place. There is no police officer that are near that place. As you remember, the seconds during the incident matters. So one of the possibilities to deliver additional information to the service like Command Central Aware is to interact with the game engine. In this patent, we disclose the method to recruit additional players to provide the information that is needed by the public safety agency. So game engine is recruiting the game players that is located in the safe distance from the incident, and is changing the behavior of the characters in the game. So the game's engine may change the position of the characters, like this bee on the picture that we have here, to point to the location where incident is, right? So the players in the game will move their devices in the correct direction, and this video stream can be provided securely to the public safety agency to increase the awareness of the incident. So instead of sending public safety officer waiting several minutes, we can just get information from the devices of the people that are standing in the safe location, from the safe location.
And this is an example of innovation that a few years ago was of this time visionary innovation, but now is implemented, and we still innovate around this this functionality. It's Wiki. So you probably know Google Assistant or Siri. Wiki is also digital partner or electronic assistant. There are different names of the same. For example, you don't have to call to the dispatcher or check on your in-car computer if you want to have if you want to check some license plate. Police officers have their digital partner Wiki, and they can ask them for certain tasks. They can assign Wiki certain assignments, for example, searching license plates. So police officer can just provide the number of license plate to be searched, and Wiki performs the search and check and provides the result. And of course, there's more and more ideas how to use Wiki, and we have some patent applications about these new ideas. For example, if police officers stop someone for a traffic violation and check his driver's license, can ask Wiki to check, for example, Grzegorz Kaplita. And Wiki can recognize that the situation is a bit dangerous because Grzegorz Kaplita was an hour ago, like a few miles away, and was trying to rob a bank. So he can have a gun with him. So it may not be safe to provide this information through the radio because he can hear it. So Wiki recognizes this situation and decides if it's better to provide this information, maybe not to the radio of the officer that asked about this information about this guy, but to the nearest police patrol or to the dispatcher. And here is an example of patent application about what else Wiki can do. It was already mentioned that first responders very often work with these talk groups, and it's very hard to monitor two talk groups at the same time. You can have two radios and hear both of them, but it's not convenient. Even less convenient is constantly switching from one group to another. But sometimes you need some information that the other group, talk group knows. So here's an example. What you can do. You can ask Wiki to create virtual police officer, and send this virtual police officer to the second talk group and, for example, ask for some informations. It's important because people in the second talk group can easily recognize who's asking for those information. So this makes communication between talk group easier. So this virtual talk group member can go back to this original talk group and provide the information that received from the second talk group.
Sometimes innovation helps to make everyday tasks just simpler. Number of first responders that are sent to the incident may be huge. The emergency incident may be also handled by multiple agencies, so the officer may not know personally all the officers that are dispatched to the incident scene. But still, we have to assure that collaboration between the first responders is possible. So this invention make assignment of permission just easier. Instead of requiring a public safety officer to select a correct person and change the permission, the visual interface is used to detect the faces, identify the public safety officers on scene, and just drag and drop the permission to the document that is needed to collaborate on the incident scene by visual interface. As the result, we can save a few seconds of public safety officer during the incident handling, when every second really matters.
And here are two examples of inventions that regard so-called threat detection and situational awareness. So very often when in field police officers has to focus on, for example, his tablet to fill some form or whatever, and he's not aware what's around him. So you already know body-worn camera, in-car camera. So we can use those products. We can use technologies there to detect that police officer has his eyes down and to create geofence that is scanned by body-worn camera, in-car camera, to make sure that police officer is safe when he's not watching what's around him. And the figure on the right side is a drawing from a patent application about a threat detection system for cars. So sometimes a police officer has to focus on something being in a parked car. And imagine that he has a 360-degree threat detection system. If there's an obstacle within geofence that is scanned by the system, it's going to create alarm constantly. So the police officer probably will switch off this system, but it can be dangerous. So the idea is that very often there is a other police car parked nearby that can have a view on the direction when there is an obstacle. So it's possible to switch off only one direction of this whole system and take the information what's behind this obstacle from the other car parked nearby.
So sometimes inspiration to create new invention can be found during the design of the new service application or microservice. So this is the quite old Motorola patent disclosing the video surveillance system. So traditional approach for finding needed object in video stream is described on diagram that is on the top of the page. So normally it was done in this way, that the video stream registered by some kind of camera was provided to video analytics module, and this module was triggered by some kind of the rules. So the user of such analytics system provided the query something like find me a white car, and based on that, rule was created and provided to video analytics. So video analytics searched through video stream, and based on that, some part of the movie was prepared and stored in the storage. On that data that was processed, some action can be triggered, something like a alert. And it was a traditional approach to searching something in the video. But this approach, this architecture has one big drawback. So by changing the rules, something like from white car to red one, we have to search and process the video once again. So the new approach is slightly different. It's only subtle difference, but scalability and performance of such solution is much bigger. So instead, in the newer approach, the video stream is still searched or processed by the video analytics. However, the video analytics is not receiving any rules. it's searching for every object that can be detected. So after processing, the video analytics can store the video stream and primitives, some kind of metadata that will be stored in the separate data storage. Thanks to that, the rules are not applied directly to the video analytics, but are applied to the primitives. So when I'm looking for the white car, this query is run against the metadata, and based on that, we can receive our actions like alerts. If the additional rule is needed, like search for the red car, the same query is run not against the video, but against this metadata that has been already processed. So this solution scales better and is much faster.
This invention addresses one of our clients' big concerns because communications on our system can be run on cloud infrastructure or on premises-based infrastructure. And of course, it is easier to, for example, hack cloud infrastructure. But it happens that the communication is about something important, something classified, something concerning national security. So agency wants to make sure that the data that is exchanged in this communication will be safe. So the idea is that agents talking about something, when they realize that they are going to disclose something confidential, they can use, for example, a predetermined keyword to make sure that the system will switch infrastructure that process this communication, that this communication will be processed by premises-based infrastructure, not in cloud.
So in the current systems, the distribution of the calculation is important. So typical use case for public safety is the search for missing person. So in typical deployment, we have something like a body worn camera that is registering the object and is able to process something, right? But it has limited resources, limited CPU power, limited capacity of battery, limited memory. But we have also the services that are deployed somewhere in the cloud that can calculate more complex calculation. So in such scenario as missing, finding a missing person, body-worn camera can easily detect and extract the faces from the video stream that is registered by the camera. These faces can be sent to the face recognition service somewhere in the cloud to find matches if that is a person that is really missing. But in this invention introduced yet another improvement to that process, because during implementation of such solution, we found out that there is yet another bottleneck in the system. And this bottleneck is the link bandwidth of the link between the device and some kind of the LTE or 5G network. So when we are gathering lots of the public safety officer in the single place and lots of these body-worn camera are located in the single location, the bandwidth needed to handle all of the queries is too high, right? So instead of sending the faces that are extracted by the body-worn camera, extracted in the step number 1, the body-worn camera is sending only the pictures with lower resolution or learning models that don't contain every feature. Thanks to that, picture, the scheme that is sent in the step 2 is much smaller, and we are saving the uplink bandwidth. But because of the limited resolution or limited feature that was sent to the face recognition service is not able to confirm the match of the search person. So instead of confirming if that is the needed person, the face recognition service is providing several possibilities. So instead of returning the answer like yes, this is the person we need, The face recognition service returning set of faces that can match the low resolution image. So this set of faces is transmitted in step number 3 to the edge device, to the body-worn camera. So body-worn camera, using its limited capacity and limited memory, can still match several pictures, right? So in the step number 3, after receiving the possibilities, body-worn camera is matching the correct picture registered in the step number 1 with the possibilities that are transmitted from the cloud. Based on that, we can receive the correct answer if this person that we are observing the field of view camera is the person that is missing.
I mentioned that we have at least 2 types of innovations at Motorola Solution. One that cover the features of the products that we are going to release, and those visionary patents. So, of course, for the first type, it's easier to catch them because we organize these patent scraps before the product is released. But what about visionary patents? We cannot just sit and wait until someone will come up with ideas. So Motorola supports the inventors, people who want to create these new ideas, with a lot of activities and events that can help them to create an invention. So we organize brainstormings, hackathons, patent training to make people be aware what's patentable, mentoring, so the young inventors can meet with a more experienced one to discuss their idea. And let me mention patent showcase, which is very interesting event during which the chosen inventors from last year, they present their ideas that were decided to be patented. And they explain not only their idea, but also their way to this patent application, how they come up with the idea, what had to be changed to become to have positive decision of patent committee.
And what is specific to Motorola? The fact that everyone are welcome to solve problems in other business units. As an example, if the person works currently in the critical communication team, he or she still can participate in brainstorming, solving challenges in video analytics. It is a good occasion to get to know new people, new technologies, new field of science, and eventually check if they would like to broaden their area of expertise or even change career path. It is highly recommended that groups working on the next invention are diverse and have different knowledge backgrounds. Such groups more easily challenge the current available solutions and in the end introduce more disruptive innovation. The brainstorming method called Green Red Session, used widely in the company, also encourage introduction of disruptive ideas. In the green phase, people who participate in brainstorming strive for quantity, not quality, so they propose craziest, almost science fiction ideas. In the red phase, we focus on selecting the best ideas and making them ready to implement. Different business units organize the direct innovation session when brainstorming groups works on solving real challenges for our customers. Such a challenge may be just a question like how to combine different calls for service and make sure that each of such call is affecting exactly the same incident.
And Motorola not only helps innovators to come up with idea, but also rewards and honors them when idea is ready. So to remember what kind of recognition we have in Motorola, I often compare being inventor in Motorola to winning a Nobel Prize. Because when you win a Nobel Prize, you have a cash bonus for it. And we in Motorola also have cash bonus, maybe not as big as while winning Nobel Prize, but it's not just a one cash bonus because there's at least three of them. First is when a patent committee decides that your idea will be filed as patent application. Second one is few weeks later when patent application is ready and filed into the patent office. And third one is like about 2-3 years later when patent office decides to grant a patent. But there's much more than you can have. If you have 10 granted patents, you have Distinguished Innovator Award. With 25, you have Master Innovator Award, and there's a cash bonus for every step of this. Beside this cash bonus, we have also something similar to Nobel Prize medal, this bronze medal. We have a HAX award. This is plexiglass hacks that you can win. Grzegorz shows these hacks. So after a few years of inventing, you can have a pretty nice stack of these hacks awards. And during Nobel Prize ceremony, after Nobel Prize ceremony, there is a dinner with King of Sweden. So we have something similar without King of Sweden, but it's also nice. Last year it was in Manga Museum in front of Wawel Castle. So there's a ceremony when all those awards are given, and then a patent dinner. But when I talk to the inventors and ask them why they do it, they often says that, of course, cash bonus is nice, and patent dinner is also super nice. But inventing is fun. It's adrenaline when you are waiting for a patent committee decision. And it is addictive. So they do it for fun. But at the end of the day, when you are closing your laptop and thinking about this day, no matter if you have invented something like a breakthrough invention, or if you wrote just a few lines of code, it feels good to know that you did something that may help to save someone's life. Thank you. So if you want to ask us questions, we are opening a Q&A session. You can write your question on chat and we'll try to answer.
So the first question is, in what year did Motorola Solutions start to use AI for CCTV created products? Unfortunately, I don't remember. It was quite long ago, probably.
And probably it was Avigilon, the company that was acquired by Motorola, started this. So even harder to answer.
But this information can be found on the public available sites, right? So if the year is important, then the information is provided in the internet. But sorry, we don't remember the exact date.
So thank you very much for participation. If there's another one.
But this is not the question, so. Thank you.
if you don't have any question, of course, all the words of appreciations are also welcome.
So thank you very much. Have a great day.